Time is approximately 6 o'clock on October 10th, 2024. The Farragut Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting will now begin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and online. I want to thank you for your presence at tonight's Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. My name is Scott Meyer. I'm the Vice Mayor of the town of Farragut, and I'm filling in for Mayor Williams tonight. We appreciate that each of you have taken time out of your busy schedules to either attend or view tonight's meeting to see how our town government works. All Farragut Board of Mayor and Alderman meetings are public noticed by Tennessee state law. All board meetings minutes are taken and are available. Each meeting will be recorded and can be viewed at a later date on YouTube. If you are in attendance, you should be able to pick up a copy of tonight's agenda at the door when you came in tonight. If you are not able to attend tonight and are viewing from home, the agenda is available online at our website. For those in attendance that would like to speak, please pick up a blue card at the door and write your name and the agenda number on which you wish to comment. There will also be a time reserved near the end of the meeting for citizens' comments on non-agenda subjects, which also requires that you fill out a blue card with citizens' comments at the time you wish to speak. On each agenda item, I will ask the town recorder for residents' input. During this time, any Farragut resident wishing to speak to the board on that specific agenda item may do so for up to 3 minutes. After being recognized, please go to the podium microphone in order to be heard and viewed by all. To conduct efficient, business-like meetings, the town has adopted rules for how its meetings will be conducted. Primarily, these rules are designed to keep the meeting moving, assure that all points of view are heard and considered, and to provide common courtesy to everyone. We ask that you observe the established meeting rules when addressing the board. Number 1, at the beginning of your presentation, please state your name, address for the record. We ask that you address all your questions to me. Do not direct questions of aldermen or staff members. If necessary, I may call on an alderman or staff member concerning your question or comments. Once you have given your input, please return to your seat so we can continue. Number 2, we ask that every speaker avoid the use of improper language, profanity, or any other inappropriate conduct and address issues, not individuals or personalities, with malicious comments. Speakers should strive to avoid redundancy and should have their own original viewpoints. We ask that you also stay on topic on the agenda item. We also are here tonight to do the people's business. It's very important, and it's a very important responsibility for all of us. We will start tonight's meeting with a roll call by our town recorder for a quorum prior to standing for silent prayer, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our country's flag, which will be led tonight by Alderman Alex Kane.
Alderman Burnett.
Here.
Alderman Kane.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Here.
And Mayor Williams is absent.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The second item on our agenda tonight is the approval of the actual agenda. Are there any agenda amendments?
No, sir.
Move to approve.
Second.
In favor of approval, say yes.
Yes.
Are there any noes? Let the record show that the October 10th, 2024 agenda has been approved as posted. The next item on our agenda is approval of minutes from September 26, 2024. Are there any amendments to our minutes?
No, sir.
Move to approve.
Second.
In favor of approval, say yes.
Yes.
Any noes? Let the record show that the September 26, 2024 minutes have been approved as posted. Next item on our agenda is the mayor's report. I'd like to start off with Alderman White.
I'd just like to say a thank you to Alderman Kane, David Smoke, all the town service people, and especially to the maintenance department for the water they collected to help the people that are without water. It was a wonderful thing, and there were some other places has had them too. The Baptist church had one, and another church I'm sure had it, and maybe some other people. But nevertheless, it shows this community's ability to step up when they're needed and think of other people. So thank you guys. I appreciate it a lot. I'm sure the people that receive the water do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alderman White. We also have a presentation from Edwin Dayton from the First Utility District on a upcoming project.
Thank you guys for having me, and thanks for letting me go early. I'm here, I guess I'm Edwin Deaton. I'm engineering supervisor at First Utility District. I wanted to talk a little bit about what we were doing. Talked about this, I guess, in February. We talked about a specific project we were looking at. I wanted to, in general, just kind of talk about how we approach work like this. And I want to make sure we're being a good neighbor and getting out in a public forum and doing our best to communicate what's coming and when and why and what some of those impacts might be. Just from a really big picture perspective, we maintain a lot of data on our system for how it performs, and we do our best to look ahead with land planning as far as things that are in the pipeline now and available land and what might be coming in the future to make sure we're well positioned to support growth and work in the future. So we've built out about a 40-year plan of where we are, where we think we need to be budget-wise, how the money will get spent, and how we're going to cash flow everything. So through that, we've identified what needs to happen and when, and kind of what that looks like, both from a short-term, long-term scheduling and budgeting perspective. The project we came to talk about in February is our B-line sewer interceptor. That's one of our three main gravity sewer lines through Farragut and West Knox County. It was put in the late 70s, and that area has filled in and densified and grown a lot since that time. So we've now come to a point where we've outgrown that line. So the line we're looking at in particular is following North Turkey Creek, generally along the south and north Campbell Station corridor. And we're going to be replacing that line over time in phases. The first phase, which is what is shown in red, will be starting at Turkey Creek Road next to TDS Telecom, and we'll be going north into Village Green and ending in the common area at Old Colony Boulevard. We will have some future phases to work our way towards the Interstate 40 right-of-way, and we'll hopefully time that with an interchange project if and when TDOT schedules that. But we're trying to time our work to be ready in there when that happens. So I guess some of our past efforts, for those of you that are new, or we've done our due diligence from a permitting and regulatory side, and also done our best to work with the town and different departments to gather that stakeholder input and time and structure our work to have the least impacts to sidewalk users, greenway users, motorists, and as best we can, Founders Park, scheduling that work outside of the Christmas light season. So we advertised this project for construction in September. We made a notice of award about 2 weeks ago and have a signed contract in place now. We're expecting to have a pre-con that the town will be a part of, I think in about a week and a half, and then we'll have a notice to proceed with construction around the 1st of November. So some of our early activity will just be staging and storing materials, and then we'll get on with the work starting at TDS at the Turkey Creek Concord Road intersection and work our way north. I'm happy to take any questions. That's kind of our big picture. We think it will probably be about a 1.5-year project. That's our contract time now. It could be faster. The contractor intends to bring in a second crew to hopefully expedite that. Part of our scheduling will be working around the Christmas lights and Founders Park from September through the first week of January. So that's our biggest scheduling thing that we're trying to avoid impacts to. We'll be doing some community outreach, direct contact with our customers through phone and email. We'll have information on our website. We'll have Facebook posts, and we're working to get an article prepared to include in the Farragut Press just to try to get as much visibility as we get started and hopefully answer some of the questions on the when and why and what you can expect issues. But I'm happy to take any questions if y'all have any.
Yeah, I got a couple. So staging will start at TDS on
Yes, sir.
Turkey Creek, November, and then you'll start moving north. When do you expect to stage at Founders?
That's something we're going to have to work out with our contractor when we have our pre-construction conference. One of those early deliverables is a schedule, so I'll be able to answer that scheduling information a little better, and we'll be working with the town at our progress meetings. They'll be a part of those, so we'll make that information available as soon as we have it.
Do you plan on being out by next October, November?
Out of the park?
Out of the park.
We will be out of the park from September 15th through, I think, about January 10th is probably the best information I can give you right now.
Got it. And do I understand correctly that that parking lot is going to be somewhat destroyed?
That's probably a safe bet. We'll be digging through the south parking lot with the new sewer line, and we'll be staging in that area while we're working in the park. So part of what we're doing is we're going to mill up all the asphalt when we're done and repave it with a pavement section that the town's approved.
Gotcha. The one request I have, and I'm glad Daryl walked back in, is that we look at the cost difference of what you're going to pay to repave it and look at doing permeable pavers instead. If it's going to be dug up, let's look at having a good looking long-term solution that could be a difference in price, and maybe it's something we're palatable to pay the extra amount for.
Probably two ways we could handle that. One, we could change order it out of our project and give you all the value of that paving effort. Then y'all could take it on as a project. Or if you wanted to make a payment and have one of our contractors do it, we could probably discuss it. But I think it'd be simpler just to give you all what we would spend on paving and let you take that permeable paving project on as a town project.
Sure. I just want to get to the point where we can say it costs X amount more and see what that number is on our side to see if the board would have any interest in doing that. It may be a number that's way too big, but if we're going to dig it up, and we know how nice those pavers are as a parking lot, so I think we ought to look at it.
I don't think we would be your best party to give you the cost for that. So
Sure.
if you've got a consultant that can do that and we can figure out the delta between those numbers, I think that's something y'all could consider.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Deaton, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Any other items for the mayor's report this evening from any other aldermen?
The only other update I'd give, Scott, is the Chamber of Commerce had their the biggest event that they put on throughout the year, dubbed The Auction. There were some people here in the audience that were there wearing stylish cowboy hats. And so the Board of Mayor and Aldermen was invited to that, and we got to experience a fun silent auction, then followed up the evening raising money for service dogs with a real auction that was something to behold. So appreciate being invited to that. It was a great event and served a lot of great causes.
Yes, Scott, I would like to thank Alderman White for his comments and in regards to the water drive that we did last Friday. Alderman Burnett was there when we started at 7:30, and I appreciate your help, and I appreciate David Smoke's help putting it all together. And I think if you guys saw the result of it, it was very, very successful. We were very fortunate. A gentleman who's a Farragut citizen, Wayne Griffin, he lives here. He contacted me, and he's the regional vice president for Caliber Collision. They're a nationwide company, and they have some other entities with them, and they showed up with their ProTech guys from as far away as Atlanta, Chattanooga, and Nashville, and they brought 13 cargo vans full of water. And so we filled up both dump trucks and even one of the city pickup trucks to the point where we had no more space for water, and those guys were able to take 3 of those vans down to First Baptist Concord and drop it off at their collection point. And, so very successful, and I do appreciate all the citizen that showed up to bring us water. We had people that brought one case, we had people that brought 10 cases, and I think it was very good. And we had people from Public Works and Human Resources and Codes out there all day loading up trucks. We even had some citizens come out and volunteer to help us load. So just wanted to tell everyone thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Moving on to our next agenda item, section number 5, our ordinances and resolutions. Tonight we have one ordinance for public hearing and review, as well as one resolution. The first one is the ordinance, the first reading, ordinance 24-18. A public hearing on the first reading of ordinance 24-18, an ordinance of the Town of Farragut, Tennessee, amending the fiscal year 2024-2025 capital investment program and ARPA funds budget passed by ordinance 24-07.
Yes, sir. This ordinance is very similar to the one we had last meeting. This one is for $32,579, and the additional funds are needed for the project engineering services. The additional funds needed will be funded through the stormwater project assigned fund balance from the capital investment program, and then the capital investment program will be amended by $32,579 to supplement the additional funds needed. The funds will be deducted from the assigned fund balance for stormwater projects. The motion is to approve ordinance 24-18 on first reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Do we have any citizen comments?
No, sir.
We'll open up for discussion. Alderman White?
None.
Alderman Burnett?
No comments.
Alderman Kane?
None?
I have none. With discussion completed, I will ask for the town recorder to do a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Burnett.
Yes.
Alderman Kane.
Yes.
Alderman White.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Yes. Let the record show that the request to amend ordinance 24-07 by ordinance 24-18 has been approved on the first reading by roll call vote. Moving on to our next item, item 5B, resolution, approval of resolution R-2024-13, declaring certain town property to be surplus property.
Yes, sir. Any property that we have for surplus of a value greater than $100 will require a resolution. The items we have tonight are 2 sets of volleyball poles. These are no longer needed and will be surplused on GovDeals. The motion is to approve ordinance R 2024-13, a resolution declaring certain town property to be surplused.
Move we approve.
Second.
With the first and the second, do we have any resident comments?
No, sir.
All right, we'll open it for discussion. We'll start with Alderman Kane.
The only question I have, is this something that could be donated, or does it have to go through GovDeals?
It has to go through GovDeals. Anything we have worth over $100 does have to
Okay.
go. Now, they can, who would like to have it, they can go on the site and bid on it. But what we found about GovDeals is it's just a good site that everybody has access to, whether it's another local government or the public.
That's fine. I didn't know if it was something we could get to
Yeah.
one of our 4 schools, that's all.
Alderman
Thank you.
Burnett.
No questions.
All right, Alderman White.
None.
All right, with discussion closed, I will ask the town recorder for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Burnett.
Yes.
Alderman Kane.
Yes.
Alderman White.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Yes. Thank you. Let the record show that the board has approved resolution R-2024-13 by roll call vote. Moving on to item number 6 on the agenda, we have 4 business items tonight to review. The first one is approval of the revised Farragut Museum Committee Charter.
Yes, sir. The Farragut Museum Committee met to discuss the committee charter. The committee voted to combine the committee's bylaws with the existing charter. No other changes were made. The motion is to approve the revised Farragut Museum Committee charter.
Move to approve.
Second.
The first and a second, do we have any resident comments?
No, sir.
All right. So open up for discussion. Alderman Kane.
None?
Alderman Burnett.
No questions.
Alderman White.
None.
And I have none. With discussion completed, I will ask those in favor by saying yes.
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 Any noes? Let the record show that the charter revision has been approved as requested. Business item number 2, approval of appointments to the Arts and Beautification Committee.
Yes, sir. The purpose of this agenda item is to appoint applicants to the Farragut Arts and Beautification Committee, and we've had 2 come in recently, both for a 1-year position, ending in June of 2025. The appointment is for Jennifer Craddock and Jeremy Brewster, each to a 1-year appointment on the Farragut Arts and Beautification Committee with an ending term of 2025.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
The first and a second, do we have any resident comments?
Yes, sir, we do. We have one. It's Joey Ruffalo. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
No, we do not.
no, we do not. All right, we'll open up for discussion. Alderman White,
No, none.
Alderman Kane,
None.
Alderman Burnett.
No questions.
I have none either. With discussion completed, if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Any noes? Let the record show that the appointments have been approved as requested. Business item number 3, approval of Amendment 2 to professional service agreements with Ross Fowler for bidding and construction services for McPhee Park Phase 4. Is that, oh, there we go.
Good evening. This item is an amendment to our agreement with Ross Fowler for design and construction services for the McPhee Park Phase 4 project, actually bidding and construction activities. When you approved their contract back in 2021, it had a fee of $138,750. That was based on 9.25% of the estimated construction cost at that time. Excuse me. There's also provision in that AIA agreement that allows, if the anticipated cost of a project increases over time, and it typically does, then their fee increases accordingly. So the actual bid on the project was $2,674,000. Now, they don't increase the fee on all of their services, only the things that have not been billed yet. In this case, it's the bidding and construction services, which amounts 30% of their fee. The total increase in their fee will be $32,578.50. So since that is part of the original agreement, staff recommends approval of Amendment 2 to the Professional Services Agreement with Ross Fowler with a fee increase of $32,578.50.
Move to approve.
Second.
With the first and the second, are there any resident comments?
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll open up for discussion. Alderman Burnett?
Yeah, so this is for bidding and construction. So is this starting soon?
Yes, it's actually, I believe they're mobilizing this week.
Yeah, they've got the fence and stuff, posts put up, but I thought we were a month or two out, but by the looks of it, it looks like it's pretty soon.
Yep.
Alderman Kane?
None.
Alderman White?
None.
I have none. With discussion completed, I will ask that all in favor vote by saying yes. Yes. Any noes? Let the record show that the agreement has been approved as requested.
Thank you.
Thank you. The fourth business item is approval of the dates of the November and December Board of Mayor Alderman meetings.
Yes, sir. In the past, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen have chosen to cancel the second meetings in November due to Thanksgiving and in December due to Christmas. The current dates scheduled for November are the 14th and the 28th, and the December meetings are the 12th and the 26th. The board wishes the second meeting in November and December will need to be canceled, and if the need arises, a special meeting may be called. The motions to cancel the meetings in November 28th and December 26th, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
With the first and the second, are there any resident comments?
No, sir.
All right. So opening for discussion, Alderman Kane,
None.
Alderman White,
None.
Alderman Burnett.
No questions.
I have none either. With discussion completed, I will ask that if you're in favor, please vote by saying yes.
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 Yes. Any noes? Let the record show that the dates have been approved as requested. Next item on the agenda is should be our citizens' comments, I believe. Yes, citizens forum. Do we have anybody signed up to speak
We
tonight?
do. Our first speaker is John Ford.
Okay. Since we have a speaker, I ask that you, if you have the opportunity to read the comment protocol located on the back of tonight's posted agenda.
I'm John Ford. I reside at 12516 Willow Cove Way. I, along with a bunch of other friends play pickleball regularly, at least 2 times a week at Fee Park. And I understand that there was a contract has been let, I believe it was back in July, for the design and engineering of the new facility at Mayor Bob Leonard Park. And we have a lot of curiosity as to what may end up being built there. I was wondering if there's any way that what's being thought about could be shared with the pickleball community in some way, formally or informally. Like I say, it's just a lot of curiosity for that. And there's maybe some small details that we would like maybe to have an opportunity to input. I understand that this firm that's doing design and engineering is very experienced, so we certainly wouldn't have any input on how to build pickleball courts. But there may be just some little nuances of things that might make it more usable for us. So I'd like to know if there's a way to input to that. I don't know if to maybe go to a Parks and Athletics meeting or send an email to Ron or something with some things we've got on our mind. And also, I think kind of informally at the meeting in July when the contract was let, there was a suggestion from the alderman that put as many pickleball courts out there as you can given the land and the budget. And we would certainly support more than 8 if it's possible to do that. So we look forward to a new pickleball facility out there, to resolve some problems at McPhee Park. And anything we can find out about what's going on, we sure appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hey, John, thanks for coming up tonight. So we've engaged professional services on the initial drawings and getting some initial ideas of what it's going to cost. Obviously, it depends on, you know, what level it's built out at. You got shade structures, you got fences between courts. Is it 8 courts? Can we get 10? Can you get fit 12? All those options are out there being worked on by Ross Fowler and Associates. And so staff got an initial look at it and some initial pricing, but it's still, they're going back and looking at, there's a few other things to look at, like parking, ADA accessibility, even, you know, flooding and stormwater, not flooding, stormwater that had to be considered because of the size and scope of the project. And so it's back with them. We're waiting to get a new look at that updated. Ron, will that come to Parks and Rec first?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so probably in November.
Yes.
Most likely, Mr. Ford. That drawing hopefully should be there in November to Parks and Athletics, and then next up would be to the board. But I can tell you, you know, we've got pickleball people on Parks and Athletics Council, which is good, but even still, there's questions like, you know, if we put knee-high or 3 to 4 foot fences between the courts, which you would want, how far do you get off the back line? How far do you get off the sideline? And we've reached out to, you know, some avid pickleball players. We've reached out to indoor facilities who, you know, use all those nets and gates and everything between the courts to see how far back do we need to put it. And so we're getting all that info. We've also got Ross Fowler, who's got a lot of info, but we've also reached out to some places that do this as a business and need to keep their customers happy. And so we're going off a lot of those distances based on that feedback.
So what is it that will be done in November? A variety of options or maybe the preferred design?
There will be some options that fit within the budget. There are a whole lot of options, but not all, you know, 14, 16 courts. Those don't fit into the budget that we have. But what can we, it's been clear that we need to maximize the land we have designated over there for pickleball for courts. And I think one of the ideas is let's get as many courts as possible, and then possibly even phase in some nicer amenities like shade structures and things like that down the road. But again, it's not fully decided on. They're going to give us a list of options and say, this is what this gets you, this is how much this gets you as far as courts and amenities that go along with the all the courts themselves.
Well, we certainly look forward to kind of finding out what's planned.
Yeah, try and come check the schedule in November because it should be there.
To come to these meetings or go to the athletics,
Parks and Athletics Council, which is on,
First Tuesday? Second Tuesday of the month.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yep, you got it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the 12th.
Our next speaker is Joey Ruffalo.
Hello, everyone. Joey Ruffalo, Campbell Lakes Drive. Thanks for the opportunity to address the town. I just wanted to share a recent experience. My wife and I traveled to Oklahoma for the UT Oklahoma football game. While we were there, we visited the OK Kids Corral. This is a 12-room facility founded by late country singer Toby Keith. It's described as a Disneyland meets Ritz-Carlton for families and children undergoing treatment at the Oklahoma Children's Hospital. All expenses are 100% covered for families through donations. In the volunteer spirit and in the friendly nature of the game, we coordinated with Hallie Riddle over and her team, and we're able to donate on behalf of the town of Farragut and Visit Farragut 25 care packages for the children at the facility. I just wanted to thank them and thank her for the efforts in making that happen for us. I was able to document the experience, and I'm happy to share the photos and videos with the town as well as the Farragut Press or whoever. And I just want to publicly thank them for their help and efforts in making that happen. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joey.
Our next speaker is Bob Rogowski.
Thank you. Thank you. Bob Rogowski, 329 Crestview Road. And I'm here to ask for your help to keep a murderer in prison and to sign and share a parole protest petition, Justice for the Dots, December 2024, on change.org. Some of you may remember Les and Carol Dott's murders in their home in Village Green. Jeannie and I can never forget it. I was the one who found their broken and bulletin-written bodies, who had to call 911 and wait for the Knox County Sheriff's Office deputies and detectives to arrive to take control of the horrible scene. I was the one who had to tell my wife that her parents, two of the people that she loved most in the world, had been brutally murdered. And I had to watch as she went into shock and just kept repeating, no, no, no. Later that night, when the reality of what happened hit Jeannie full force, I held her while her grief took over every inch of her body and her heart, knowing there was nothing I could do to make it better. The heinous, brutal murders of Les and Carol Dotts shocked not only the Farragut community, but all of Knox County and the surrounding areas. What is still shocking to Jeannie and I is that almost 30 years later, come this February, we are still fighting for justice for the two people that we love, more caring, compassionate, funny, hardworking, kind members of our family and our community. David Leon Scarborough was already a criminal using and selling drugs, stealing, etc., and had been arrested a few months before Les and Carol were murdered. While he has been in prison, he has used drugs, stolen, flunked drug tests, and even more. He has not changed. He is a criminal with no sense of responsibility or personal accountability, and always will be. The only thing he is sorry for is that he was caught. What we are asking for is your compassion, your support, and to just take a few minutes of your time to sign and share the parole protest petition to deny parole for the double murderer, David Leon Scarborough. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jeannie Rogowski.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Brajkolski. I guess I should say Jeannie Dotts Brajkolski. My husband and I live in the Bel Air neighborhood. And, oh, sorry. Everybody here's taller than me. Okay. Jeannie Dotts Brajkolski, we live in Bel Air. And we're here tonight to ask our neighbors, our community, to please go to change.org and sign and share the petition, Justice for the Dots, December 2024. Please ask the Tennessee Parole Board to deny David Lee and Scarborough parole to keep a double murderer in prison. On February 3rd, 1995, David Scarborough, Thomas Gagne Jr., and Harley Watts had been driving through Village Green, getting high and ringing doorbells of houses to find one where no one was home to break into. They chose my parents' home. When my mom and dad came home from going out to dinner, they emptied a 9mm gun into my parents, including an almost point-blank shot to my mom's head. There is a long list of facts and testimony that I could quote here this evening that leaves no doubt of Scarborough's guilt in my mom and dad's murders, but there is not enough time, even if I had several hours. Scarborough testified that he began using and selling drugs and stealing when he was only 13 or 14 years old in middle school. Since he's been in prison, he's been caught multiple times with drugs, drug paraphernalia, stealing, flunking drug tests and more. This is how he has spent the majority of his life, as a criminal who thinks the law does not apply to him. All three murderers told the Knox County Sheriff's Office that they had been driving around Village Green looking for a house where no one was home, to rob with a gun. This was calculated, deliberate, premeditated choice that Scarborough and his accomplices made. Despite what Scarborough keeps saying, this was not a mistake and it was not an accident. He wrote a letter to a local TV station that said, "I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. I did nothing wrong." Obviously, his definition of right and wrong is very different from the rest of us. I don't want anybody else to have their family ripped apart like ours was, or have to spend decades dealing with the criminal justice system like we have. If anyone has any questions or would like more information, you can also go to Facebook and go to the page I created, Les-Carol Dots, and that's D-O-T-T-S. You can also message me through that page. Please be sure to sign and share the parole protest, Justice for the Dots, December 2024. I thank you for your time, support, and compassion, and for the members of the board who've already signed the petition. It means so much this that we have a community who cares enough to try to see justice done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeannie.
That concludes our speakers.
We'll move on now to the town administrator's report.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Meyer. I just wanted to echo everyone's already talked about the work that's been going on and trying to help our East Tennessee neighbors with the water drive and the various closed drives, things like that. And our staff wanted to try to do even more. And so this week, a crew from our Public Works Department has been up in Greene County helping clean up some of the mud from the Nolichucky River that's just inundated that area. And it's a monumentous task, to say the least. They're doing what they can for a few days that we can let a crew go up there. But I did want to let you know that they're working hard at it. They're trying to do their best to just allow access back into some people's yards, frankly, in their parking lots again. So they have been up there next for the 3 days of this week that we can allow a crew to go up there. So with that, that's all the other information I had to report tonight.
Thank you, David. And town attorney's report?
No report tonight.
No report. Thank you, Tom.
Scott, would you mind if I added one other thing?
Go ahead.
I noticed Mr. McBride here and some others from Thornton Heights, and just to give a quick update. So there's one last project that's being worked on. So you all are next, and we're looking to start collecting data towards the end of next week, or the beginning, or that Monday or Tuesday, the beginning of that next week. But should be at the end of next week or the beginning of the following week. So we'll get out there. It'll still take a few weeks from there because there's multiple roads we're looking at in the neighborhood. But just wanted to give you an update. Appreciate you passing this out. I know I already got to see it, but just letting you know we're a week and a half away from starting that traffic study in your neighborhood.
Thank you. The time is approximately 6:40 p.m. and without objection, the October 10th, 2024 Farragut Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting is now adjourned.